Good morning, and welcome, my beautiful people. Good morning. I am Jari with Tired Mom School Digital on a journey towards financial freedom through digital marketing. So today, we won't just be talking about digital marketing. We are going to be talking about brand identity and the importance behind brand identity in digital marketing, within your digital marketing journey. Why is it so important? What is branding, right? What is brand identity, and how does brand identity represent your brand? So that's exactly, Ruth, good morning. That's exactly what we are going to be talking about in today's live. Okay, so I am very excited. I am going to wait till 7:30 to get this party started, but just kind of like wanted to give a brief overview about what we were going to be discussing today. So I'm extremely excited. A lot of people, right, especially beginners, don't take branding serious. They are all over the place, right? They have no idea that there is psychology, right, behind your branding colors, right? How do you want people to perceive you, right? What do you want your brand to stand for? Chastity, good morning. So that's why I wanted to come out here and talk about brand identity. Last week, I came out here and I spoke about, thank you so much for my heart, me, Ruth. Last week, I came out here and I spoke about the psychology behind branding colors, right? What red meant, behind the colors, pink, blue, what they kind of like represented. Haley, good morning. How's it going? So today I'm going to tie it back to the brand identity, right? And the reason why it's so important. But before we get started, good morning. How's it going? How's the restaurant coming along? I bet you're like all over the place, have so much work. So exciting. So exciting, right? Top it up Tuesday love. Exactly, Ruth. Okay, I've actually to switch to a ghost kitchen concept. I actually switched to a ghost kitchen. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by a ghost kitchen concept? What do you mean by that? Maybe because I'm not in that field. I don't understand what you're saying, but is that going to help you out? Is it going to make it more fun? I'm curious. I'm just a little curious. But good for you. I can't wait for you to open up the restaurant because I want to go over there. I want to go eat. I want to go try on your delicious food. So I am so looking forward to it. Okay. Let me just share this live with my ladies so they can jump on, because they most certainly do not want to miss this live, because it's going to be amazing. Okay, let's see here. I am looking forward to it. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Trust, I cannot wait. Okay, so like I was saying, Mia, thank you so much for my heart puff. So like I was saying, right? Today we are talking about brand identity. Last week we came over here and we spoke about why color matters in branding, right? Colors are not just for looking pretty, okay? They create emotions and perception in the minds of your audience, right? So that is why picking the right color for your brand is very important. And I also kind of like went over how to find your colors, how to match your colors, right? With, let's just say that you went with red. What other colors will look well and represent your brand with the color red? Okay, so we discussed all of that, how the brain reacts to colors, right? Colors trigger emotions within the first 90 seconds of seeing them. I went over, right, how red, the emotion and meaning is power, urgency, excitement, energy. Blue represents trust, professionalism, calm, peace. Yellow represents optimism, warmth, attention grabbing. Green represents health, nature, growth, wealth, trust. Black represents luxury, authority, sophistication, power. Right? We have white that represents simplicity, purity, cleanliness, minimalistic. Purple, royalty, luxury, wisdom. Orange for fun, enthusiasm, friendliness, creativity. Pink represents feminine, playfulness, romance, empowerment, kindness. Lorraine, buenos dias. Gray represent neutral, balance, professionalism, right? So we went over all the colors psychology, right? And how to identify and define your brand's personality. So now we're gonna dive in a little bit deeper with brand identity. What is brand identity? What is branding? Okay, why is brand identity so important? And because there's so much information and I want to make sure I don't leave anything behind. Thank you so much, Lorraine, for my goal. I did want to do a 2-part series. And when I teach, I love to do a 2-part series. So today we are going to go on with the basics, and then tomorrow I am going to kind of like tie things down, do a recap of, you know, why brand is so important, but also tie it back to why the psychology with branding is important, the color psychology. Okay, so I'm gonna pause because I'm gonna wait a little bit before my ladies jump on. Does anybody have any questions for me? Any questions? Anything at all? And if you are ready to get this part started, your business is to tap that screen, show your girl some love, because I am gonna be out here preaching. Okay, so I'm gonna give it maybe 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna jump on. So I'm just gonna continue talking about the psychology of color and branding. Okay, because like that you kind of like get to put it together. What is color psychology? Okay. Color psychology is the study of how colors influence human behavior and decision making. It's why we associate red with urgency, blue with trust, and green with growth, okay? Choosing the right colors for your brands is essential, as they can significantly influence customer perception and engagement, okay? Did you know that Tamara, good morning. Brenda, good morning. Did you know that 93% of shoppers make purchase decisions based on color and visual appearance? And can I just say that if you're a beginner, you are not expected to have your branding colors exact growth. Yes, you are not expected to have your branding colors down pack. It's gonna take time. Okay, and my account is a perfect example of this. If you guys take one day to scroll all the way down into my TikTok account, you are going to see how bad my account was before. Okay, can I just throw that out there? It was all over the place. And that is okay, because I didn't know anything about branding, right? I didn't know that there was psychology behind picking your colors as well. I always knew pink and red were my favorite colors. I just didn't know I was supposed to use them, you know, and what they perceived. So that's why I want to like raise awareness, because Noemi, good morning. If you're a beginner, understanding this is going to be very important. I know that when I spoke about the psychology of colors last week, a lot of people not only did they change their colors, but they already knew what other colors were going to, you know, allow their brand to stand out, okay? And maybe your color, maybe your favorite color is not going to represent your brand, right? It happens to be that pink represents me to the T. So it was perfect that I went with pink when I decided that, you know, I wanted my branding to be all things pink, all shades of pink. Okay. So, but if pink didn't really represent me as what I wanted to perceive and I wanted to show, then it would have not be strategic of me to pick the color pink. Right? So you have to be strategic. You need to go with a color that is going to represent your brand. Okay. And how do we pick and choose the colors? We use in design and greatly influenced by the type of emotion and interest we want it to show. Pink is my favorite color, but green is mental and health. And you see, that is what I mean right there by being strategic with picking your colors, right? So that is exactly what I mean. So because Lorraine is in the health, mental health area niche, right? It was a no-brainer to go with green. It doesn't match, right? Because let me go back and explain what color green represent, okay? The color green represents health, nature, growth, wealth, and trust, right? So if she's in mental health, right, in the mental health niche, and if she would have went with pink, pink represents feminine, playfulness, romance, empowerment, kindness. That has nothing to do with mental health. So she was strategic. That is what I mean. Melissa, good morning. That is what I mean about being strategic, about the colors that you pick. Can't even talk today, but I'm going to try to gather myself, okay? So, like I said, right? How do you choose the right colors for your brand? You need to first define your brand's personality. Then you want to research your audience, and then you want to pick 2 to 3 main colors, right? Your primary color, right? Good morning, Jolie. Okay. Hey, my sweet friend, how are you? Sending healing prayers. Oh, I love it. I love it. Jolie, we have 2 Jolies in the house. Good morning, my beautiful ladies. All of you, good morning and welcome. You already know I was waiting for some of you. I know I was waiting for some of you to join in. I was just wrapping up, and talking about color psychology. But now we can actually, it's 7:35. We can get this started. Again, your business is to tap that screen. I am not just going to be chatting, right? I will definitely pause at moments to kind of like make sure you guys don't have any questions for me. But let me just make sure. Well, thanks for asking. I love it. I love it. See, that's what I mean. We just have an amazing community here. Okay, so today we are talking about brand identity, right? Let's talk about something, right, that is often overlooked when people jump into digital marketing. Yes, brand identity. And I had to start it like that. You know why? Because this is something that I had no idea about, when I first started my journey, okay? This is not just about your logo, your brand's colors, although those are important. And we actually spoke about that last week, right? This is about how people feel when they experience your brand. It's the vibe, the message, and the connection, okay? So many of us jump into this space thinking, I just need to post content, right? That's what I thought as a beginner, right? Choose happy, love it, right? But if you want people to trust you, buy from you, and refer others to you, you need a brand's identity that's clear, consistent, and true to you. Okay? I need to repeat that again, okay? If you want people to trust you, buy from you, and refer others to you, you need a brand identity that's clear, consistent, and true to you. I don't want you out here trying to be someone that you're not, okay? And like I said, right, because I was told once I was a little too much, right? Don't ever allow anyone to tell you not to show up as you. Whether that's loud, whether that's a little too much, that is okay. Show up as you, because I promise you there are people out there. You guys love me for being too much. Okay, and I cannot believe I allowed somebody to really, hola Lisa, buenos dias, to tell me not to show up as me. Anyways, but not anymore. Not anymore. I show up as me, my loud self, very proudly. Okay, so what is branding? Branding is the process of developing a cohesive look and feel for your online business. Jenny, good morning. This includes everything from logos, stationery, to your website, your storefront, and your marketing. Girl, we love us some Miss Jotty. Yes, period. Okay. These elements help build a perception for customers to identify your brand and build trust with you, right? Because in reality, we want people, right, to get that feel that they can trust us, right? They like us, right? And that we are approachable. Okay, so that is why branding is important. So what is brand? I already explained branding, right? What is brand identity, right? Unlike branding, brand identity is more like a connection between the business and its customers. The identity makes a brand instantly recognizable to customers. It leads to customer loyalty and customer retention. Okay? Brand identity is the visual plus emotional fingerprint of your business. It's how your brand looks, feels, talks, and acts across all platforms, posts, emails, everything, right? Keep those fingers tapping. Gems are dropping. Thank you so much, Noemi, right? Think of it like your brand's personality in the wild, right? If your business walks into a party, brand identity is what everyone would notice first before you even say a word. Okay, now let me give you an example of this. My job, right? My full-time 9 to 5, everyone is so serious. Everyone is so serious. But the minute I jump on, they already know they're going to be smiling. They're going to giggle because I am literally the life of the party. Literally, guys, the life of the party. I am just not like this online. Like, I am also like this, very energetic, very vibey in my 9 to 5 as well. Because why do we have to be so serious, right? Why do we have to be so serious? I jump in on Mondays and I'm like, okay, guys, I get it. Today is Monday, but can I get some smiles, right? And then when Friday comes, I'm like, TGIF, and everybody starts laughing, okay? That's what brand identity is, right? The way you represent yourself, like they already know that they could be in a bad mood, but they already know the minute Jadis jumps on, they're gonna smile. Okay, girl, I was looking at my TikTok thingy. I've been following you for 300 and oh my God, that's amazing. Yay, Mom Boss Freedom, good morning. So we've been besties for a while. Lorraine, okay? I'm going to give you an example of this, right? Of you being the life of the party, okay? 203 minutes. Love it. Love it. Good morning, Lady T. Let me give you an example. Nike isn't just a swoosh, right? It's a bold, it's empowering, it's just do it energy in every corner of its messaging and visuals, right? So brand identity is a visual representation of a brand. It's what makes your business unique and memorable to consumers, and it can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be, okay? Let me just pause. What is it that you do in your 9 to 5? I must say you are very dedicated. I am a full-time business analyst. Girl. Yes, I do a lot of analysis work, a lot of meetings, sitting meetings, a lot of, most of my day. But, yes, I take this very serious. And so I'm very dedicated. Can't tap and yo estoy manejando. Don't worry. Safety first. BRB, caramba, my coworkers are babies. Don't worry, Lorraine, you're good. My job, people think I'm their personal therapist. I get that. I so get that, Jolie. I understand why. I would understand why. Okay, so let's continue. What does brand identity represent? I'm going to give you a list and then I'm going to break everyone down a little bit, okay? Brand identity represents the visuals, the verbal, your brand story, brand asset, brand identity versus branding, and your brand image. Okay, now Marixa, good morning. Now let's break them down. Visual representation. Brand identity is the visual representation of a brand, encompassing, right, its logo, color palette, typography, imagery, and overall aesthetics. I love your brand identity and your content. Thank you so much. Maria, good morning. Thank you so much. I worked so hard on that. Okay. 1 second, guys. I just want to make sure. My son. Okay. Okay, so back to it. Verbal representation. It also includes the brand's voice, tone, and messaging, ensuring consistent communications across all platforms. What do I mean by that? How do you create this image for your live? Lady T, right? If you go in the link in my bio, right there, you're going to see my YouTube channel. In my YouTube channel, if you go, there is a live that I actually walked you guys through on how to create these background these background templates and then how to add it to your live. Okay, so there is a live session in my YouTube channel that I saved into there, so definitely check it out. And you can just like scroll all the way to the part where I am. Yes, I do it in Canva for free. In Canva. I teach you how to do it with your own picture. I teach you how to do it using templates. I think I taught you guys 3 ways, like a simple one. I did a very simple one. Then I did one with a picture, and then I did one with you know, a little bit more information to it. So definitely you can check it out. And make sure, guys, whenever I add a live, you know, and you guys watch it, please heart that. Please heart, like it, maybe even comment on my videos on my YouTube channel, please. I want YouTube to see that I'm taking them serious, okay? Had to throw that out there. Okay. So again, visual, verbal, your story, your assets, right? So verbal representation it also includes your brand's voice, tone, and messaging, ensuring consistent communication across all channels. What do I mean by that, right? Oh my God, I am subbing to your, love it, Maria, love it. Let's just say that you show up on TikTok very loud, but then you're very serious in IG. That's not being cohesive across all platforms, right? So if you are an energetic person that is loud, like me, on TikTok, that's the same kind of energy I want you to have across all your platforms, okay? It doesn't matter, right, that it's going to take you a little bit longer to grow on one. You want to be cohesive, right? A lot of people tell me, I love how everything just matches. Whether they go to my YouTube channel, whether they go to IG, whether they go to FB, whether they go to TikTok, whether they go to my store, everything looks the same. It's the same type of energy, it's the same type of vibes in all my platform. I'm not going to tell you that off the bat. Sarmali, good morning. It was that good. It took time. It took about 7 months of me being in this space for everything to look so good. Okay? Thank you so much for my heart puff. But one thing I'm going to tell you is that I am here to tell you, to educate you, so it doesn't take you as long as it took me to get there. Okay? I am here to teach you for that reason. Good morning. Right? So brand story. A brand story is a narrative that includes the emotion and inspiration created by the business, describing how the brand was conceived, why it exists, and its mission, right? So your brand story could be your why. Why did you start in this business? I don't want you guys overthinking everything. I'm already giving you the tools for you to run with them and identify if it requires you grabbing a poster board and kind of like brainstorming, then do that. Okay? Dude, good morning. Then we have brand assets, okay? Brands, these are the aspects that make up a brand identity, such as your logo, your reels, your posts, your photos, your stories, taglines, slogans, sounds, and other visual elements. Good morning. That's what brand assets is, right? And you want to make sure everything matches. Okay, so what is brand identity versus branding? Brand identity is more about the visual and verbal representation of your brand, while branding is the broader strategy of creating and managing a brand's image and reputation. Okay, because we get them mixed, and that's why I wanted to kind of like put them together and explain the two. Okay. Brand image. A brand image is a customer's perception of the brand, consisting of various association and memories related to it. Okay? It's not that complicated. Now let's go over why does brand identity matter in this space. It's everything, guys. It's everything. That's why I'm telling you now. Exactly. Keep tapping why it's so important. Brand identity is a very important part of your business, right? Because it's the visual representation of your company and what it stands for. A strong brand identity will help you build trust with your customers and eventually get you to making those consistent sales that you want, and even improve customer service, because you're going to be working with your leads on a one-on-one basis that your customer service skills are going to be like excelente. Okay, excellent. When you see us, you see ping, period. Okay, so I'm going to pause there for a minute and see if anybody has any questions. If not, I can continue going. And yes, I have examples because I feel that I can come out here and preach, but if I don't give you an example, you're not really going to tie it back to exactly what I mean. Okay, no questions? I'll continue then. Okay, so a brand's I'm sorry. A brand's visual identity, right, is the first impression that a company creates. It's how you make your brand stand out from others. And it's what people will remember about your business when they think of you or your products. The visual identity should be consistent across all platforms. If you don't have a clear image of who you are as a company, then you won't be able to effectively communicate your message. And that is very important. Blanca, good morning. The first step in creating a successful brand identity is understanding who your target audience is. Can I just say that everything always, when it comes to digital marketing, guys, everything always comes down to your persona. To your persona. I get it, guys. I get it that we are out here trying to find, looking for financial freedom, right? But it comes down to serving your persona. And who is your persona? Yourself. If you're not in the pet niche, if you're not in the mental health and wellness, right? Your persona is yourself, right? A lot of us, right? We are in the wealth, make money online niche, right? And we are targeting ourselves. That's exactly who we are targeting, guys, ourselves, because who can speak better of the pain that you're feeling than yourself, right? So before, I used to come out here and target all my moms. And can I just say that my message was not sticking and was not getting to them because I was speaking to every mom out there. And when we are small, I don't care. All these gurus tell you not to niche down. I beg to differ. Don't listen to them, because they already have a warm market. So if they say the pen is blue and it's actually black, all their market is going to say is the same color they are saying, because they already have that warm market. For us, we need to really niche down so that our message gets out there. Once we are up there with the big dogs, then we can talk to anybody. We can talk to just like moms, dads, teachers, whatever it is, and everybody's gonna believe us. But it's gonna take time to get there, guys. It's gonna take time, okay? And you already know that I'm gonna tell you exactly how it is, because I just keep it 1,000 with you. Okay? So again, the first step in creating a successful brand is understanding who your target audience is. Your persona. You need to know their age, their gender, their interests, their hobbies, their pain points, their desires, everything, okay? Once you have this information, you can start brainstorming ideas that will help you define your unique brand, okay? The second step in choosing the key elements of your brand, this includes like the colors, the fonts, the logos, taglines. Remember how last week we came out here and we spoke about the psychology right behind colors. That is exactly what I mean. That's what I struggle with. My people are struggling, career moms. Okay, let me just pause because I want to be able to help you. Let me ask you a question, Lady T. Let me ask you a question. Should I create your target? What do you do for work? Can you just answer? If you feel comfortable answering that, what do you do for work? Should I always create content for them? I'm gonna give you an example, but I first want to know what do you do for work? Like for me, okay, I was an educator. Okay. So your target audience can be educators. Priscilla, good morning. Because you feel the pain of other educators, but your content should not be solely you speaking to them. This is where the content pillars come into play. Right? And I'm going to give you an example of what content pillars are, right? Because it is also very important, right? Content pillars are themes and topics you want your brand to be known for, okay? So I'm going to give you an example of my content pillars, right? So I have engage, entertain, educate, and promote. So under engage, I am doing Q&As, engagement tickers, polls, quotes, affirmations. Under entertain, I can do memes that are trending, storytelling, talking about your story, your why. Where were you before you started? Personal posts, anything you feel comfortable sharing, and behind the scenes of everyday, or behind the scenes with you on creating content. Educational content looks like, you teaching them about the infographics of the digital marketing industry, tutorials, how-tos, trending audios, all of that. And then promote. Product offering, testimonials, reviews. What are people saying about the product that you are promoting? Why out of all the other products out there in the courses, you decided to go with the course that you have? When you are storytelling, yes, you need to speak to your persona, but then you want to have a mixture of other content. You just don't want to be out here every day just talking to your persona, if that makes sense. You need a mixture, and that's why identifying your specific content pillars is going to help you a lot. Okay, you don't need 4 content pillars. I chose 4 because I really wanted a variety of content. Okay, so you could do 3, you could do 5, you could do 6, but whatever, right? Okay, so whatever feels just easiest for you. And once you have your content pillar identified, can I just say that you are never going to run out of ideas? Okay, any questions? So let me just give you an example. Let's just say that you are going to do a B-roll video, right? And you are going to target this to your persona, right? So it could be like point of view. It could be a point of view. And while you're sitting down, let's just say on your dining table, and you are just like holding, I'm going to turn my camera on so that you can really feel this example right now. Okay, this is you. You are going to be on the computer, and you're literally gonna be like this, just stressed out. Record yourself, right, from an angle, and just be like, point of view. If you are an educator that is just tired of being burnt out, right, or tired of working long hours, or tired of being underpaid, you found my page for a reason. That's it. That should be your hook. Then you break it down in the captions. Why they found your page. Okay, if you're tired of being underpaid, undervalued, working crazy longs of hours, you found my page for a reason, right? And they're gonna wanna stop and see what you're talking about because you look so stressed, right? What do you want them to feel when they see that post? Guys, hello. Do I not got you or got you? Love the green. Yay, thank you. Okay, now I'm going to turn my camera off so you guys can, but that is exactly what I mean. That is exactly what I mean. Let me just make sure I don't miss any comments. Can I just say I love when you get passionate? Because guys, I have so much passion in this. Nobody is going to be lost. Not on my watch. For the educational content, sometimes I think that it targets other content creators. And it can, because there are going to be plenty of content creators as well there that are educators as well. So maybe you have something that will be the solution to their pain that they're struggling with. Okay? But that is what I mean when you target your persona. You need to speak directly to them. Okay? Okay, I'm just reading the messages. Okay, you are most welcome. Feel and felt and foul method works. Exactly. Okay, now that I explained that, right, now I can continue. Okay. So again, once, right? So I already, so I said the second step is choosing the key elements of your brand. This includes things like colors, fonts, logos, taglines, etc. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example, right? So Nike has created a positive brand image. So the tangible elements, such as a pair of Nike shoes, is considered to depict personal identity, right? So thus becoming a valuable asset in the eyes of a customer, okay? Wait 1 second. So, okay, so I have to start blocking all the noise from all the different advice I get. Girl, can I just say yes? Can I just say yes? Mind your business and focus on you. And let me tell you something. If you have been, I know you've been on my lives before. I do recognize people's names, right? When I tell you guys all the time, mind your business and focus on you. Okay, if something is affecting your growth, if something is truncating your growth, I need you to pause for a minute and remove those, okay? I need you to remove them. For the longest time, I was too worried about what others were doing until I realized that it was only affecting me getting out there, pushing myself. Gigi, good morning. So that's what I used to tell my students. You know what I mean? So mind your business and focus on your journey, okay? And focus on your journey, because you can't compare your day one to my third month. You know what I mean? Enjoy your journey. Come out here and just connect with your people. Build your community just like I have mine. But if you are not out here, right, serving, you're never gonna get that. A lot of us are too afraid to go out there because we fear being judged. But can I just say that we are judged by the people that we love? Why should we care what strangers have to say? Okay, when I decided to not give a F, okay, very passionate. When I decided not to care what others had to say and show up as me, that's when when I started building those really true connections. So that is exactly what I want you and I need you to do, is focus on you. If it's just truncating your growth, remove the accounts. Remove the accounts, okay? Lady T, thank you for my heart puffs. And another thing that I must say is that a lot of people, like, when I stopped listening to the gurus, that's when I found my voice as well. I was too busy trying to follow to the T what the gurus were doing. And I didn't understand that they already had a warm market, right? So that's why they were being so successful. Okay, so not everyone's strategy is going to work with you. That's why you need to constantly test things out and find what works for you and then run very hard with that. Okay, that is what I mean. Now, let me give you an example of what I mean, right, with why branding matters, right? So a digital marketer for moms who homeschool uses pastel tones and encouraging language. Her audience feels safe and understood. Okay, so that has to do with the pastel colors, with the tone of colors that she chose, right? And then her encouraging language. Now, I'm going to give you an example for a Gen X persona, right? A Gen X personal development coach rebrands to include purple and gold in her branding colors, right? Her clients now feel the prestige and transformation her services promise. See what I mean? See why branding colors have a lot to do with brand identity? Okay. And I'm just giving examples here, right? It's just that your colors make people feel. Okay, a stay-at-home mom selling done-for-you products goes from using random colors to sticking with warm tones and rustic visuals. Now sales start going up because her store feels cohesive, right? And that is why it is important that your brand is cohesive across all platforms. Okay. Why is brand identity important specifically in the digital marketing space? Okay, brand visual identity, right, is the most important part of your brand. It's what people see first, and it communicates a lot about you, your business, and your products. You can have the best website in the world, but if no one knows who you are, then it doesn't matter. It does not matter, okay? So if you don't know who you are, your target audience, your persona won't either. Okay, they may not understand why they should buy from you. If they do decide to purchase from you, they might end up changing their buying decision because they didn't get a good enough first impression from you. Okay, am I preaching or am I not preaching, guys? Because I feel it. Okay, it's also important for business owners to consider their competitors. Okay, what are they doing? Okay, how does their brand identity compares to yours? What makes them so successful? Are there ways you could use their ideas to make your brand more appealing? And I'm not telling you to copy, I am telling you to get inspiration. That is something that I did when I was trying to find my brand identity, right? I went and I looked for other working moms in this space that were very successfm, right? And I got idea from them how I wanted to show up, how they were showing up. Okay, I'm not telling you copy. No, absolutely not. I'm telling you to go look for ideas so that you can find what you want your brand voice to be. Okay, Claudia, good morning. It is also important that you have a consistent message, right, across all your platforms as well. That means having a single voice and tone of voice that you communicate through all of your marketing efforts, okay? 1 second, guys. I just need a sip of my water. Okay, what does brand identity allow you to do? Brand identity allows you to build trust, increase sales or make your first sale, right? Improve customer service, stand out from your competitors, right? Build a connection with your leads, right? And be consistent across all platforms, okay? Building a strong brand, right? A strong brand identity helps build trust with customers as it creates consistent and recognizable images, right? Increases sales. A clear and consistent brand identity can lead, right, to you making your first sale, right? Increase sales if you're already making sales, and improve customer loyalty because you already know that when a customer buys from you, if they want something else and they already have built that like trust factor with you, they're not going to go to another person. They're going to first find out if you have that product that they're looking for. Now, if you don't have it, obviously they're going to go to someone else. But when you build that trust, they are always going to go back to you and say, hey, do you know anything about this product? And that's another thing. When you have taken the time to build your brand and people trust and believe everything you have to say, I have people that come to me and say, hey, what do you think about that product? Right? And I might not have the product, but I have heard by word of mouth of other people how the product is. And that is enough for them not to want to get the product because of my opinion of the product. That is the type of brand you want to build yourself. Branding strategy is critical, although I am slightly different on my LinkedIn. Maybe. Okay, is there a reason why you're different in your LinkedIn? Norma, good morning. Excuse me. Is there a reason, Ruth, why you're different in your LinkedIn? Is it because it's more like professional? I want to know. I want to know your reason behind it. And in the meantime, I'm just going to continue going, right? And it improves customer service, right? A strong brand identity can also improve customer service as it creates a positive and memorable experience. Good morning, love, right? And then it allows you to stand out from your competition. A unique and memorable brand identity helps a business stand out from its competitors. Very important. And it helps you connect with customers. Brand identity helps create a connection between the business and its customers, right? Fostering loyalty and repeat business. And that is also what we want. Okay, a consistent brand identity across all online platforms ensures that customers recognize and trust the brand regardless of where they encounter it. Tap and listen, period. Okay, and I'm just going to pause there for a minute and see if anybody has any questions for me. Thank you, Mia, for my heart pop. Nana, good morning. Any questions for me? Any questions? Okay. So I can continue. I can continue if nobody has any questions for me, right? Why most newbies get brand identity all wrong? Why? I don't do live no more in LinkedIn. I don't do live. I didn't know that you could go live on LinkedIn. That's a first. Thank you for letting me know. I don't do live no more in LinkedIn. Trixie, good morning. Good morning. Okay, so why most newbies get brand identity all wrong, right? They think it's just a logo or a Canva color template. You're wrong, okay? They copy aesthetics from someone else's feed, forgetting that brands has a different voice, mission, and message, okay? Very important not to copy. They show up online like 10 different versions of themselves and wonder why people aren't converting. Guys, remember, use me as an example. When I first came out here, this page is like the perfect example. If you guys scroll, oh my God. When I think about, when I go back and I look how bad my videos and my branding were all over the place, I get it now. I get it now. People were probably like, look at this girl. Yesterday she showed up as pink. Today she's showing up as blue. Tomorrow she's showing up as purple. You know what I mean? That is why branding is very important, okay? And let me just, can we talk about the symptoms of a brand identity crisis? Your feed feels chaotic as fuck. That was me. That was me, okay? You second guess your captions before you hit post, right? You attract followers, but not buyers. That means you need to go back to the drawing board and identify if your brand is branding, right? If your brand, if your messaging, right, is actually, if people are understanding your branding, if that makes sense, okay? You want to build a binge-worthy brand identity, okay? You want to start with your brand's values. What do you stand for? What are your non-negotiables, right? You want to lock in your brand tone, right? Plus voice. Are you the bossy bestie, the calm and collective coach, the hype girl? You need to pick one and you need to go all in. Repeat that one again. Okay. So the symptoms of brand identity crisis, right? Your feed feels chaotic as F, all over the place, right? You second guess your captions before you hit post, right? And you attract followers but not buyers. About following? Is it that? Like you attract followers but not buyers? Is that what you mean, Gina? Good morning. Is that what you wanted me to repeat? Yes, perfect. Okay, followers and not buyers. That's why I tailor it with godly kingdom principles. And that's okay, Ruth. That is okay. Completely okay. Again, because that's what you want your brand to be. That is completely okay. That is what I mean. Don't copy, right, what others are doing. You need to find your brand voice. I am already giving you the tools to identify your brand. Thank you so much for my heart puff, right? That is what I mean, right? Again, how are you going to build a binge-worthy brand identity? Start with your brand's values. Guys, you know what? As a matter of fact, don't even write it down because I'm going to add this to my YouTube channel today. But you need to understand what are your brand values? What do you stand for? What are your non-negotiables, okay? Lock in your brand's tone of voice. Thank you so much for the follow, right? Are you the bossy bestie? Are you the calm coach? Are you the hype girl? I am 1,000% the hype girl. Because if I don't come out here and hype you up every day, then I don't even know. I don't even know what else to say. Okay, so again, you need to pick one and go all in. Okay, you want to choose your brand's vibe. You want to think about 3 to 5 words that describe how you want people to feel when they land on your content. Okay, good, because I'm having a hard time writing and tapping. No, don't worry. I'm going to say, girl, I'm teaching. So, of course, this is going to be on my YouTube channel. 1,000%. Okay, again, so brand identity isn't what you like, it's what attracts the person who's ready to pay you, okay? So let me break down the brand key components, okay? Because a lot of people also don't understand this, okay? Your logo, your symbol or mark, right? My face is my logo. My face is my logo. But if you're a faceless account, your logo needs to stand out so it doesn't look like every faceless account out there. I am very passionate on what I share on my lives, but I'm a calm and collective person. Okay, so that's fine. So you are the calm coach. And that is completely okay. That is completely okay. Okay? That's perfectly fine. Again, right? Your logo, right? Your symbol or mark should be memorable and represent your values, okay? Typography. Font choices should reflect your tone. For instance, script fonts feel feminine and elegant. Sans serif fonts feel more modern and clean. If you guys go into Canva, like Canva has an explanation on like the fonts as well. So go ahead and search them and see if your fonts match your tone of voice and what you want to represent, okay? Color palette. It evokes emotional responses and is key to brand recognition. Okay, now that we are talking about color palette, let's talk about a little bit and dive in a little bit of about why color matters in branding. Okay, because we spoke about this last week. But if you're like me, I don't even remember what I did yesterday, let alone what I did last week. So I'm gonna break it down a little bit. Colors are not just for looking pretty, right? They create emotions and perceptions in the minds of your audience, okay? The right colors can make people trust you, buy from you, and remember your brands, right? Remember that first impressions are everything. Studies show that 90% of snap judgment comes about products are based from color alone. Okay, color alone, that is insane. Okay, good morning, right? Brand recognition, right? Consistent color usage increases brand recognition by 80%. And that's why you should be taking it very serious, okay? Emotional connections. Colors trigger emotions, and emotion drives to purchasing decisions, okay? Okay, so how the brain reacts to colors. Hey girl, hey. Yes, look at restaurants and stores. Love it. Yes, it is why I use my green all the time. See? So Gerald, green is his color. Green is his color. And that's why when you pick your color that you're going to run with, you need to be cohesive across all platforms and use it all the time. If I'm in my stories, I'm using the color pink. The color pink is all over my feed, right? Because that is my branding colors, right? So how does the brain react to colors, right? Colors triggers emotion within the first 90 seconds of seeing them, okay? Your brand color will determine how trustworthy people think you are, believe it or not, how professional you seem, how exciting, calm, luxurious, or fun your brand feels. Okay, let's see. I noticed that I use a lot of pinks in my designs and digital. So, hey, maybe pink might be one of your branding colors. Let me break down the psychology behind some of these, like the most popular colors, for you to see maybe if you still want to consider it to be pink, or if maybe you want to switch it, right? Because we want to pick a couple of different colors, right? In my newest videos, I'm using blue, green for value since I'm teaching a topic. I like that. I love that. Absolutely love that. Right? So red, what emotions and meaning is behind the color red? I need to be more cohesive. I'm new to social media posting, so I've been all over and can I just say, like I said, it is going to take time for you guys to get there, but understanding the reasoning behind colors, branding is very important. Since I'm in travel, blues and greens are most used colors. I love that, but it's like sticking to your colors once you identify your brand identity and your colors, okay? But it's time to get my brand identity. I love it. Taking action from what I teach, right? So the color red, emotion and meanings, right? Power, urgency, excitement, and energy, right? And then we have the color blue, trust, professionalism, calm, peace. We have yellow, optimism, warmth, attention grabbing. We have green, health, nature, growth, wealth, and trust. We have black, luxury, authority, sophistication, and power. We have white, simplicity, purity, cleanliness, right? Minimalistic, right? We have purple, royalty, luxury, wisdom. Then we have orange, fun, enthusiasm, friendliness, creativity. We have pink, feminine, playfulness, romance, empowerment, kindness. And then we have gray, neutral, balance, and professionalism, right? Based on what we learn, what colors do you think represent your brand? And I am not telling you to tell me right now, but that is the reason why it is important, right? So when you choose the right colors for your brand, you need to first identify your brand's personality, right? Are you a bold and energetic person? Then red and orange would match perfectly with you. Are you a calm and trustworthy kind of person? Then blue and green should be your colors, okay? Let's just talk about are you more is your brand more about luxury and exclusivity? Then black and purple. And if you're fun and playful, you could do yellow and pink. Then research your audience. Remember what I said. Everything goes back to your persona. Again, let me just repeat that again. Everything always goes back to your persona. Leslie, good morning, right? Your ideal customer. If you're marketing to women entrepreneurs, you can use soft colors like pink, lavender, mint, and that might attract them, okay? If you are selling financial services, like if you're in the finance industry, then blue and green give your brand that trust and security, okay? Good morning. Okay, my favorite colors are pink, and black, but those are not for my brand. Exactly, right? So you were strategic and you went with green. Red and orange match my brand more. I love pink and black. Though remember, we are not going, if our favorite colors does not define our brand, we are not going with our favorite colors. We need to be very strategic, okay? Very strategic about this. So if your branding matches red and orange, then maybe you should consider going with those colors, okay? And last but not least, with the branding, with the color psychology, right? You want to pick between 2 to 3 main colors. Your primary color, this is the main color that you're going to use on your logo, your storefront, and your branding material. To give you an example, for me, my main color is pink. Okay, and then your secondary color should support the primary color. So I do a different shade of pink for my secondary color. And then you want to do the accent color, use sparingly to add personality. For me, that is black sometimes and also white, but primarily white. Okay, so that is exactly what I mean with that. Okay. So again, I'm going to give you break it down with an example for you to really, really understand what I mean, right? And of course, I'm going to use Starbies. Oh, how I wish I was drinking Starbucks right now. Starbucks primary color is green. Trust and health. Chris, good morning, right? Secondary, white, clean and minimalist, right? And then they have the accent color black for sophistication. Okay, so again, you need to understand what 3 colors fit with your brands first. Okay, and mistakes that a lot of us do, me including, oh my God, I'm getting so hot right now. Let me just take this sweater off, right? Mistake number 1, right, that people make with color psychology. Okay, using too many colors. Brands that use too many colors look confusing and unprofessional. A cluttered palette confuses customers, okay? You want to stick between 2 to 3 main colors, 5 the max. Okay, I showed you guys what my brand palette looked like. I have 5 main colors that I use, okay? And then choosing personal favorite colors instead of strategic colors. Artist, this is for you, okay? Just because you love pink doesn't mean your audience will trust it for a finance brand, right? So the solution, you want to choose color based on your branding messaging, okay? And last but not least, ignoring cultural differences, right? You need to be very mindful also of the colors that you choose and do your homework, right? If you're trying to do this the right way, okay? So let me just give you an example, of course, of my brand, right? Pink represents warmth and care. If you have been following me for a while, you know that I genuinely care about helping others. You are most welcome, okay? Pink is often associated with nurturing, kindness, and emotional connections, which aligns with my role as a mentor, right? I come out here and I try to mentor you because I don't want you to be stuck, right? Pink is empowering and represents confidence, right? I focus on helping other moms, especially burnt out working moms like me, find financial freedom. Pink represents empowerment, self-confidence, and breaking free from limitations, self-doubt, right? Limiting beliefs. And it is exactly what I teach through the products that I offer, right? And then we have pink, attention grabbing but not overwhelming. Some colors like red and orange can feel a little too aggressive for my brand, right? But pink strikes a balance between being bold but also approachable, right? A lot of people tell me the same thing when they message me. I don't know why, but you just seem so approachable, right? Doesn't that match with my brand? So that's what I mean. That is very important. Okay. Now let me just finish up here. So now let's go back to the examples of understanding your brand personality. Okay. Let me just make sure I don't miss any comments. I have to drop. Have a blessed day, everybody. If you see someone lagging, walk with them and smile. Thank you so much, Lorraine, for stopping by. Okay. So understanding your brand personality. Definition. Your brand personality is set of a human characteristic attribute to your brand's name, right? It helps people relate to you. I have 5 brand personality types, right? So that you can kind of like tie it back yourself. Elida, good morning, right? So sincerity, right? Honest, wholesome, cheerful, right? This will be good for mom bloggers, wellness brands, right? And then we have excitement, right? Daring, imaginative, innovative, up to date, right? This could be great for Gen Xers teaching side hustles, okay? We have competence, right? Reliable, intelligent, successful. This could be for digital business coaches, okay? Then we have sophistication, glamorous, charming. It could be for a luxury skincare for busy moms or maybe for UGC creators, right? Representing skincare brands, right? And then we have ruggedness, right? Outdoorsy, tough, less common in this niche, but good for those in the fitness niche. Okay, because I wanted to give you example for everything. So now I have a question for you. If your brands were a person, how would she be dressed? I want you to speak and show up in that world and define it, right? So I'm going to give you an example. This stay-at-home lifestyle influence. Her brand personality is sincere. She shares raw, real-life stories and messes. Right? She's a stay-at-home mom and she doesn't care to show up as her. And that's the importance, right? That she is showing up as her, right? A Gen X productivity coach, right? Competent and sophisticated, uses structured fonts and dark calming tones, right? A mom who teaches Canva, exciting and creative. She uses bright colors and a fun and friendly tone. Okay, that is what I mean, right? That those are the perfect example of brand personality traits, okay? Your brand core mission, vision, and values. Why this matters, right? It gives your brand direction and soul, right? Your mission statement. What is it? What you do and for whom? Who do you help, right? That should be your mission statement, right? Your vision statement. What change you hope to see? Tiff, good morning, right? Your core values. What principles drive your actions? Your brand story, the journey that led to the creation of your brand, right? And the audience clarity. Who are you serving? Guys, do you think I'm lying when I tell you that everything goes back to your persona? That is why it is very important for you to take your persona and identifying your persona very much serious. Okay? Now, I'm going to pause there before I give you the examples to see if anyone has any questions. I also need some water. Any questions for me? Okay, no questions, so I will continue. Okay, so a working mom turned coach, right? That could be me. That could be me, because you guys already know that I want to be a coach in this space, right? So example, my mission, help moms earn from home using digital marketing, right? My vision, a world where motherhood doesn't limit dreams, right? Core values, empowerment, flexibility, honesty, right? And my story, I started with zero time and with kids, right? Now I run a 6-figure business. This is just an example, guys. Okay, this is just an example, right? When I tell you that it is possible for all of us, you just need to identify your branding, your colors, right? Everything, and put them together. Do you think changing your brands or different products like on niche? Do you think changing your brands on different products like on, okay, so do you mean, let's just say, okay, so do you mean like creating products and changing the colors of your products depending on the niche? Is that what you're saying, Chris? Because if that's the case, if you are in different niches, it wouldn't be under the same account. It wouldn't mean. So you can most certainly do that, right? Every niche represents a different color, right? Depending on what color you want that niche, right? That brand to be under, okay? So you can most certainly do that, but you don't want to keep them together, because then you're going to confuse your people. Yes. Just want to make sure you're going to confuse people by doing that. So let's just say for me, right? I am in the pet niche, right? Because I have a dog. She has her whole separate account. So the branding, everything is different on Ivy's account, right? Because I'm in the pet niche, right? But with my digital marketing account is different, because, you know, I have my branding colors now put together, my brand identity cohesive, right? So that is what I mean by separating them. Okay. Now, for a Gen Xer, right, her mission could be teach women over 40 on how to create wealth online, right? And then her vision, more women retiring early on their own terms, because that is what a lot of us want. Okay, I need to revise my bio info and rebrand my style of content pillars that I stick to. Let me just look at your account. Ex-educator to work from home mom. I help you learn to make online. Link below. Ex-educator. So you're no longer an educator. I wonder, wait a minute, because I wonder if you are, okay, so you're no longer an educator. I'm trying to see if you are no longer an educator, do you still, that's something that I want you to think about. Do you still want to target educators, or do you want to target work from home moms? That's something that I want you to think about. Okay, now for stay-at-home moms who sell templates, right? Her story, struggled to find time between naps and dinner prep, right? Started creating templates for other moms to use. Yes, I left last year for, girl, you don't have to share. Don't worry. I'm just kind of like trying to help you identify if that is something that you still want to continue since you are no longer in that field, or if you want to maybe switch your target audience to who you represent now. But that's what I mean with, you doing that homework. Okay. Now let's talk about brands, voice, and messaging. Okay. Voice versus tone, right? Voice is consistent and reflects your personality, okay? And then tone changes depending on context, right? Sales, support, education, celebration, whatever it is. Your tone is always going to change to match whatever you are doing at that moment, right? So my tone right now is empowering, but it's also educational, and I'm hyped, right? Because I am teaching you something, right? Because I want you to I want you to win, right? So building your voice should building your voice should reflect your audience, right? Your persona, right? Should align with your values and your mission, right? That we just went over, and should be clear, consistent, and confident. Okay, one thing that I talk about all the time is that knowledge is power. If you guys have been following me, Donna, good morning, for a while, you know that this is something that I preach about all the time. If you don't take the time, thank you so much for my heart puff, Chris. If you don't take the time to learn, okay, if you don't take the time to learn, you are never going to have that, you're never going to have that confidence to show up and talk confidently about your product. And that's why I like to take it very serious. Okay, so knowledge is power. Remember, guys, this is a marathon, not a sprint, right? There's no rush. Take your time to learn. Take your time to learn so that when you come out here and you educate your people, right, you just like do it with confidence. People pay attention to those that are very confident. Okay, so just that is something that you should definitely keep in mind. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chris and Mia, for my heart puffs. Thank you. Appreciate it, right? So, tips. Avoid jargons or unnecessary words that your audience wouldn't use. Don't do that to yourself, okay? Just be very raw. Thank you so much for allowing me to reach my goal, right? Don't do that, right? Be conversational but professional. Write what you like talking about. Think about it like you're having a conversation with your bestie. Okay? If this is something that you guys are going to start doing when you go live, right? Write down some bullet points. Write down some bullet points so that you don't run out of ideas, right? On what to say. You guys are so scared about going live, right? I just taught you how to create a background, right? So that you can actually come out here and serve your audience without the need of having to show your face, right? But you need a plan. You could talk about your story. And when I tell you the amount of times that you are going to repeat your story, it's insane. And that is completely okay. That is completely okay for you to repeat yourself, because remember that you're always going to have new people jumping in your account. Okay? So let me give you some more examples, right? Templates shop for busy moms. Your voice should be supportive, fun, upbeat. Mama, I got you. Okay? Tiffany, tell me I'm not preaching like always, right? And then we have a mindset coach for Gen X women. Her voice is going to be grounded, empowering, right? And she's going to sound like it's your time now. It's now or never, right? And then let's just talk about a digital business coach, right? Their voice is going to equal to confidence and strategic. They're going to tell you like, let's monetize that passion. They're going to get you out of that comfort zone. Okay, so that is what I mean with identifying everything and then bringing it all together. Okay, now I'm gonna pause there and see if anybody has any questions for me. Any questions? And I know that you guys are gonna go do a lot of homework. Okay, and remember, right? Brand identity is not just how you look, but how you make people feel. It always comes down to how they feel. Golden gems, you saying this morning, girl. And if you missed some of it, I'm going to add it to my YouTube channel. Have you always done your lives with a background? No. So, okay. So I'm going to turn my camera on, right? So that you guys see that. Okay, I'll check it out. Of course, I'm back. Oh, welcome back. Okay. Yeah. Wait. Okay, so I got hot, so I had to take my jacket off because it's different and unique. I started a movement, right? I started a movement because something that I encourage you guys to do, that I have been encouraging you all to do, is to go live. Right? Why? Going live makes a big difference in your business, because going live, that's where you build those genuine connections with people. And I have so many people jump in my live and say, I want to go live, but I don't have anything to talk about. I gave you an idea. When you go live, I want you to do yourself a favor. This is what I used to do, right? when I used to go live, I would grab a piece of paper and I would write down bullet points, right? I would write digital marketing. I would write MRR. I would write MLM. And I would explain the difference between all of them. Okay. And I will also spend a lot of time having an intro, talking about who I am, right? Who are you? That is something that you need to have an intro, and when you are a beginner, you need to going live, you need to constantly be repeating your intro, right? Let's just say that I just jump on live, right? And I am new to going live. Hey, this is Jody with Tired Mom School Digital, on a journey towards financial freedom through digital marketing, but also trying to help as many moms as possible start their journey. Okay, let's just say that, I am, talking about what digital marketing is. And then the people that were on the live drop off. So I have more people to join in. Thank you so much. And I acknowledge that. Hey, Jolie, thank you so much for joining. I am Jody with Tired Mom School Digital. When you guys start going live, the amount of times that you have to repeat your intro, maybe depending on how long you're going to be on, you're going to have to be repeating it. Now, I only tell who I am. I only talk about my intro, say my intro at the beginning of my live. I don't repeat it anymore. Okay? Because I have been going live consistently for over a year. So everyone that jumps in my live is either found me on the For You page and decided to listen, right? So they listen from the hallway, and then if I'm preaching, they decide to jump on. Okay. Or they were recommended my page by someone else. Like, this girl knows her shit. Go watch her. So that is what I mean, right? When you are a beginner, you constantly, Gwen, good morning. You constantly need to be repeating that intro. Okay. Very important. Vanessa, good morning. That is what I mean, right? And then explain, a lot of people don't know the difference. Can I just say that yesterday I posted a video, right, about, how digital marketing has changed my life, and somebody comments on the reels, MLM and scam in capital letters. I had time yesterday. So I said, thank you so much for commenting on my post. Ivy, good morning. Truly appreciated. I do suggest you do homework on what MLM is and the difference. I educated them. I had time yesterday. I didn't even block. I educated. So anyone that goes and comments on that post, and I pinned the post. Like I said, I had time yesterday. Yesterday was Monday. I felt empowered. I was ready. And I wanted to do a video. Actually, I wanted to, you know how you can respond with a video? I wanted to respond with a video, but IG was only allowing me 10 seconds. The amount of things I wanted to say 10 seconds was not enough. Thank you for my heart, me. Thank you. 10 seconds was not enough. So I had to settle for the comments. And I made sure I educated them. You're going to have, and just be prepared that when you guys go live, period, exactly. You know what I mean? Just be prepared that a lot of people are going to call you a scammer. They're going to say this. They're going to say that. I am so ready for my crown. So ready for my crown. Right. Do it. Screenshot the comment. And, oh, you know what? Yes, I could do that. And do the reel. I wanted to actually put it in my stories. Put it on my story, but you know that when you post, I'm right up. Oh, thank you so much. I love it. You guys are amazing. You guys are truly amazing. Thank you so much for my crystal dreams. But that is what I mean. The thing is, Ivy, that thank you, right? The thing is that when you respond to them in a video format, it tags them. So gracias. So they'll be able to see. And I purposely wanted to see that. So unfortunately, I just had to settle for the comment. But like I said, yesterday I have time. This is something that I want you guys to be mentally prepared for. When you guys start going live, you're going to get a lot of haters, right? But one thing that I want you to understand is that those people are just mad at the fact that they are not brave enough to start their own business. And I just want you to see it as that, okay? And be okay with that. Let's just say if you're live and somebody jumps on your live and says you're a scammer, This is MLM. Depending on the day, depending on what, if you're in a good mood, if you're in a bad mood, if you're in don't fuck with me mood, whatever mood you're in, then you handle that, right? Before, I used to kind of like instantly block them, but then I'm like, oh my God, whoever is watching me and paying a close eye on me are probably thinking, because I blocked them instantly, that I am, that they're true, I'm lying, that I'm a scammer. So what I do and what I have been doing is that I educate them, right? I don't do the back and forth, because if we do the back and forth, I have time, right? But I educate them and then I block them. Once I educate them, and whoever is watching me is going to say, okay, this girl knows her shit. And that's exactly what you want, right? You are that authority figure, right? So you're going to shut that down and then you're going to block. But if you don't have time, you just be like, because yesterday, right, I said, I don't have time for this, blocked. I don't have time for this, right? And that is exactly what you do. They actually want us to go back. Yeah, girl. Oh, yes. Listen, use it to your advantage. The amount of people that just have time because they have nothing else to do but to scroll on their phone. They're going to I've had that happen to me. I've had that happen to me, to the point that one of my moderators just got so mad that they just blocked the person. But I was literally going back and forth. Whatever they were saying, I was just like out here proving them wrong. Okay? That's exactly what I taught my kids. When someone teases you, block. Exactly. Don't again, guys, we are judged by the people that we love the most. So why should we care what strangers have to say? Right? Don't let that stop you from showing up for your business, because there are actually people that are waiting for you to show up to build that connection with you. They are literally waiting for you to tell your story, right? For you to just show up as you, right? And that's why I come out here and I teach you, right? Because I don't want you to struggle the way I did. Anything that I can think of that could benefit you, you best believe that I am going to show up and teach you on, because I don't want you to be stuck how I was stuck. I allowed limiting beliefs to stop me. I allowed imposter syndrome to stop me. But those are all things that as beginners, we are all going to go through, right? But if you guys work on mindset, if you work on your mindset, relax yourself. The reminder for my meeting, right? If you guys show up as you and you genuinely show up and serve your people, like, you are going to build just like these bond and this community, right? That people are just going to love you. And that is exactly what you want to build. Now, I'm going to pause and see if anybody has any questions. I am on my spiritual journey, but even Jesus flipped tables. Period. Thank you so much, Gwen, for my rose. We are going to have people that are going to take us out of character. We are going to, and this is from experience that I have to speak on, right? I only speak from experience. You're going to have people that just want to take from you. You're going to have people that are going to go replicate everything you do to the T, right? Before, I also used to allow that to affect me, but then I'm like, gosh, there's only one Jari out here, like legit, only one Jari out here, right? So you can go ahead and try and replicate me, but gosh, there's only one me. So just know that just be prepared for that. Okay? Just be prepared for that. When you have people that are trying to copy your everyday move, like how you move, how you show up, you're going to be like, damn, you must be doing something right. You must be doing something right. Show up as you. Your community is out there waiting for you to show up, right? To tell your story so that they can click with you, right? And that is it's very important. I always tell my husband, God broke the molds when he made me. Girl, he broke the mold when he made all of us, because we don't take that shit, okay? We don't take that, okay? So again, let me just recap, right? Brand identity is not just how you look, but how you make people feel, right? Tomorrow, because I am gonna, instead of waiting Instead of waiting for Thursday, right? I am going to come with part 2 tomorrow, right? And we're going to talk about visuals, your branding colors again, how they connect with the emotions, right? And how to build a cohesive visual brand. That's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, okay? I have 5 more minutes. A que hora? Tomorrow, let me just make sure. It's already scheduled 7:30 as well, because my first meeting is at 9 tomorrow as well. So I put 7:30 for tomorrow, which is already scheduled. Okay. I have about 5 more minutes left, so I'm just gonna pause and see if anybody has any questions. And by the way, this takes a little bit to download. So maybe like in an hour, this live, if you miss any of it, because it was very informative. I'm gonna be adding it to my YouTube channel, which is also linked in my TikTok. Okay. So any questions for me? Any questions? Oh, you know what? If nobody has any questions, I can read the same affirmations that I read yesterday. Great teaching. Always, you are most welcome. Oh, you know what? Let me just see if I find the other ones I did the other day. Let me see. Please hold. Bear with me. Bear with me. You know, just to give you that hype, that yes, I can. That I got you. That I'm unstoppable vibes, like don't F with me vibes, right? That's what we want here. Ay, Dios mío, all these messages. Okay. Ready? Okay. So number 1, I am a walking masterpiece of power, confidence, and fucking resilience, right? Number 2, I don't wait for opportunities. I create them and fucking own them. Makes me feel, right? Number 3, I am the storm, the fire, and the force that turns dreams into reality, period. Okay. 4, my success isn't a question, is a fucking guaranteed. Yes. If you believe in yourself, yes, indeed. Okay. Number 5, I refuse to play small because I was born to fucking dominate. Period. Okay. Number 6, every challenge is just another chance for me to flex my unstoppable power. Period. What's your YouTube name? Okay, so it's the same, Jadi's Digital Empire. And Lorraine, if you go like and you see where my stand link, if you click like there's an arrow, my YouTube link is like at the last one. So it'll bring you directly. It's going to be easier for you to, or if not, I'll send it to you. Once I'm done with the live. Okay. Number 7, I radiate wealth, strength, and undeniable fucking confidence. Yes, I do. When you finish, can you repeat number 4? Number 4, of course. I'll go back to number 4. Please. I got you. Wait. Okay, I'm logging into my TV at home. Welcome. Okay, number 4. My success isn't a question, it's a fucking guaranteed, period. And I'm sorry for those that don't like the cursing, but it's just like gives you the more feels when you throw in the little curse in there, okay? Number 8, I am a magnet for success because I show up, take action, and demand what's mine. Period. Okay. Number 9, I don't just break barriers, I fucking demolish them. And last but not least, number 10, the world better be ready because I am coming for everything I fucking deserve. You know what? I should have done the same. But you know what? This call for it's just to give you that energetic. You don't have to say it, you just listen. Okay. Any questions, guys? Any questions? I know this was a good live, right? The power of why branding is so important, brand identity. Like I said, tomorrow I'm gonna bring you a list, right, of how to connect your brand. Like I said, I got you. I kind of failed a couple of times. God forgive me. That's what I told my daughter. I said, every time you curse, I said, you should get on your knees and do an Our Father. So don't worry. If you didn't do it intentionally, just say, forgive me, and that's it. Okay. Indy, good morning. How's it going? Any questions for me, guys? Any questions? Any questions? I have about two more minutes. I don't know. I'm starting to like get really hungry, guys. So I'm doing a reset for 7 days, and it's tough. It's tough. So I'm like fasting, only drinking water and plain matcha. Ugh, disgusting. But you know, you are most welcome. Thank you, Tiff. Don't forget to come back tomorrow for part 2. Okay, it's gonna be very informative. You filled me up today, and that's what I want. That is exactly what I want. For you guys to give you enough, for you guys to just like feel like you're gonna conquer the world. My family walks around the house saying, choose happy, mom. Oh my God, I love it. Okay, I will catch you again. I will see you guys, yes, tomorrow. Don't forget. 7:30 a.m. And if you guys, you can even sign up for free. My live for tomorrow is already scheduled, so you'll just get an alert when I jump on. Okay, matcha is not disgusting. Make it with coconut milk and cold foam. Yeah, so listen, so I tried the lavender matcha from Starbucks. So good, but see you tomorrow. Love your energy. Thank you so much for saying that. But the way that I'm doing the 7-day reset, I can only have the matcha plain, like just water, either warm water or cold water. And it doesn't taste good like that. It doesn't taste good like that. So I just chug it, you know? So yeah, so that's it. But all right, I am going to jump off so that I can jump on. You guys heard the reminder for my meeting, and I will see you all tomorrow. What does matcha do for you? It's very beneficial. Oh my God, it's so beneficial. Like I really want to find, like Jolie said, I really want to find like a recipe that it's good that I can stick with, because matcha is energy, health in general. It's really good stuff. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. But obviously you don't want to add too much to it. But yeah. Yes. Have an amazing day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Okay? Bye.